Quick, run. Oh my gosh.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Don't Drink Alone. We are your hosts. I'm Bill Wallace.
I am Sarah Wallace.
And...
Andrea.
Bridget.
And Tim.
Fantastic. I'm so glad to be included in this podcast.
Yes. I almost thought you were a guest.
I know.
Yeah, that's right. You're here on my podcast.
Yes, that's truly it. Yes, for our dozen of viewers.
If you missed the last
If you missed the last one, boy, did you miss a
Go
lot.
back.
Because, they did an entire podcast without me, and it was the best one yet. It has the most views, highest ratings, 5-star reviews. It was
Such a liar. It was really fun. It was really fun.
It was very, very fun. We have a number of podcasts now in the pocket of things that we're going to do. We thought about doing
sorry. Oh, that was cool.
What do you do when the power goes out and the wine's about to go bad? It's not really a thing, but the power actually came back.
Here it comes.
Hey!
Oh, that was nice.
So instead, we're going to go with something that we are very, very excited about.
You know,
We're
our
going to
12
drink.
viewers might not know that we were without power for like 2.5
We
years.
had.
We
I
were.
think we should just share that.
We had a bomb cyclone that happened
cyclone.
pretty much on my birthday, and
It was,
that was my birthday present. We had no power, and I picked up tree branches.
but Bridget had power, so we had dinner at her.
Yes.
You were the hero.
Yeah.
Coming in, she was coming with all kinds of food. Like,
Right.
this
It
food.
was,
So
here's
random.
something. Here's
Like,
something else.
here's something,
Find
eat
something.
It
this.
was not good.
Have no.
It was amazing.
It was
It was
amazing.
sustenance.
It
And
was fantastic.
We got to pull wine out of her wine cellar.
Yeah, that was great.
I was excited about it.
Very exciting.
Super
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of, so this is the Wine Cellar, the Deep Dive Wine Cellar podcast. So we are trying old wines today. We're very, very excited
I mean,
about
not
this.
as old as like
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, and
somebody who just turned.
that'll be raised in the podcast.
Oh, it
actually.
will?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, no,
I
we'll
didn't know
definitely go to that. But yes, we have 2 wines here. So we have a Caymus Vineyards Cabernet Sauvignon from 2008, and then we have an unlabeled Woodward Canyon, what's often called the pizza wine. I think we've talked about that on our podcast before. So this is a table red. This is the very first table red that they ever did. This actually even has a cork on it. They never actually date these, so you don't really know what year they're from. This is from the original vintage because it had a cork in it. And we're gonna drink them and talk about why you should age wine and maybe not age it this month. So, and we have a couple of different glasses, so we can do that.
I did notice I got the vintage 1971 glass.
We saved it.
Thank you.
Cool.
I mean,
All right.
it's accurate.
So, are we all starting with the same?
You can start kind of with whatever you want.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna start 08, and then are you pouring something in one
Yeah, I'm
glass?
gonna pour one in each. You got a little friend in yours, Tim's.
That was
You got a friend
that was so
in me.
classy.
Well, you know what, Sarah? I'm all class.
That's it.
That's what people
I'm all
say.
class.
Right,
That's
you
what.
put that
Very
tip
classy.
down.
Yeah.
Are we all pouring different wines? Sorry.
You got.
You can just keep track of it
Yeah.
however you want.
However you want to go. So,
You poured a lot
hey.
for the oldie.
if you buy wine at the store and decide you want to drink
It's
it
not a
that
good
night,
color.
should you?
I'm sorry.
Did you smell this?
No, I dribbled on my finger and I licked it and
Wow, no one was
So
my question
far-
at all. Oh my goodness.
did you ask a question?
I did,
You
yeah.
did, and we were also like,
You're all so thrown off here.
All right.
so
So it's what?
you buy
Something about
wine,
it.
you take it home,
oh,
Do it.
do you drink it that night?
well, no, we don't. But the average,
The average wine
American.
drinker typically does.
what is
Really?
it?
You buy,
Yeah, yeah.
The average buys a
No,
bottle and
what
drinks
was
it
it
that
that-
night.
Within
a
48 hours.
a certain percentage, like
I mean, okay.
75%. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
A
More
wine
than
bought
50%.
at the store is drunk
is,
within the
yes.
next
Within
24
40
hours.
I'm afraid to drink this.
Be afraid.
Which one is that? This one? It's this one.
Oh crap! I poured this twice.
Wow, Sarah's drinking a lot of the Woodward
And
Canyon.
I gotta tell ya,
Fantastic.
This is the one that I dribbled and drank, and it wasn't good off my finger. So I'm not sure
Terrible.
which one.
The Caymus.
The Caymus.
It doesn't smell good.
It's got a interest. It's the front is like the finish is a little odd. On the front, like it's a little
like-
different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, okay.
It's totally different.
That's
But it's
very-
not. I wouldn't call it bad.
That's strange.
I wouldn't call it like horrible.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
I would drink that over barefoot.
Well, no offense
Sorry.
to the dozen
Yeah,
people
sorry.
that.
I mean,
If you're drinking barefoot and you're still watching,
Yeah.
or
Wow.
maybe I should, yeah.
Woo. Okay. Oh,
one is
man.
that one?
I know, right? The smell of it
Goodness
is like,
gracious. All right. So, Bud, this is the thing, right?
Mhm.
Every James Bond movie, you're trying to look like classy when you do this. You're like, oh yes, I've had this
Right.
bottle in
It's
my
a
cellar since
1960.
1971.
Mhm.
It's 53 years old. Shouldn't it be just as good as other things that are 53?
Oh.
No.
No.
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember White Collar? There's an episode of White Collar where there's a Benjamin Franklin bottle of wine that gets sold for like $2 gazillion, and
Yeah.
they try to counterfeit it. And like you're thinking like this is gonna be amazing, but that would have been the worst glass of wine you probably
Yeah.
ever had in your life.
Never.
Absolutely
You
would
know.
have been
Are you
terrible.
on
Exactly.
What was the
Benjamin
Camus?
Franklin.
The
And
Camus,
actually,
the finish is weird.
It really is weird.
I like
Wow.
this one better than that one.
Yeah.
That's the one I
Ooh.
tried first. I
Woo.
hadn't even had it.
Oh,
That
That's-
puts hair on your chest.
That's good. Which is definitely what you want.
We
from
should have
wine.
drank this when we were cold during
Yeah.
the power outage, man. That could have warmed me up, I think.
That right there. So yeah, here's the deal. The reality is that there's a sweet spot for most wine, and in fact, most wine is actually designed to be drunk within the first 3 years. And if you don't have good storage for your wine, you shouldn't be storing it much longer than that anyway. These wines are great wines. They were stored perfectly. And yet, in 08 and a mystery year, they have not held up.
Okay, so here's the question though. Do you think there are people, wine professionals out there that would try these and be like, oh, it's so interesting and, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas,
So,
you know.
so yeah, people more attuned to wine than me. Again, in particular, a wine can be bred actually to age well. So you can have a high tannin content. It can have a high acidity content. It should have therefore low. This is really nerdy. Low pH, and it should have low alcohol, low sugar from that standpoint. So if you do all those things, yeah, then if you're a true wine connoisseur, you should be able to pop this open and like know that all that happened and actually taste all that happened. But
But do
what
you
do we
think-
say?
If you don't like it, don't drink it.
But that's it.
We talk about like how if you go to a restaurant and you get an old bottle,
Mhm.
they always want to decant it.
Yes.
Ah.
And we just like so
We
what,
debunk
but
that.
Well, but
that's
we're
not
swirling
true.
Yeah.
excessively.
That is, yeah. So wine does need a certain amount of oxygen in order to release everything that has been built up, the chemistry and all those things like that. But yes, with an older wine like this, it actually doesn't need that much oxygen. So in the time that we've done this podcast, these have already changed.
Actually,
By the time,
nose.
by the time we turn this off, these will have changed again, and within 30 minutes,
gosh.
they'll have broken down.
Really?
This has changed. The Woodward's changed a lot.
The
Mhm.
Camus is the one that I just smell
Whoa. Yeah,
really, actually better.
totally different.
Oh yeah, the Camus does smell a lot
Yeah,
better.
It smells a lot
Yeah.
better.
Don't break the glass.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I thought the finish on this Camus was.
The finish of the
Awful.
Camus is weird.
Mhm.
It is weird.
But you
The
guys
finish of the
thought you
Camus
liked
is
it
weird.
better than this one, though.
I
In
do.
general, I liked
I can't
that one better
the
than
smell on both of them.
I mean,
So
I like
what-
this one better than that.
I'm with you. I think that was the other one.
So how long would you store
You like
wine?
this one?
That is a great question.
You like that one?
Better than that one.
We are at a point, and we recognize. I
There's
think
something
the
about
reality,
that one
Sarah and
that
I are
makes
like in the maybe the 2% club of wine people at this point.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but
I would guess like
It's a club.
most of our
It's a-
wine comes in, and we can store it down for 6 months to a year, which is not long in the wine.
I was
world.
like, that's all.
But in
That's
terms of
not
like
very
what
long.
most people store, their, like I
That's
would
true.
guess, right?
Yeah.
Does 98% of the world like store wine for?
Or what happens is they inadvertently store
Yes.
wine.
That-
They just don't drink that often, and so
Yeah.
they'll
Yes.
get gifts or they'll buy something
And
and,
then
they
they'll
have like
just sit there.
6 bottles sitting,
Yep.
I don't know, on top of their fridge where it's
Oh, yeah.
actually, don't do that,
Where it's cooking, yeah.
warm from, you know,
Mhm.
and they're getting bad really
Yeah.
quickly, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but if
yeah.
they're buying it to drink it, they're
then they're not
it's
doing
different.
that.
They're not storing it.
And yeah, like again, it took us
On purpose.
years to get to a point where we could keep most wine for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's nuts. No, most people are not going to do that.
Yeah. We're somewhere around, I don't know
You're-
if we're always
I-
6 months. There's some that clearly not. I mean, there's some wine I buy that I'm like, dude, we're gonna drink this.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
this is an everyday drinker. We're gonna drink this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff like
Month or so.
we go, and yeah, it's there 3 months, and then sometimes
Well,
longer.
there's some that we've tried at our
Yeah.
wineries like out in Hunter that were like, ooh, this is gonna be really interesting in 6
Yes.
months or a
Yeah.
year. We should lay it down.
So,
So we have more than one of them.
exactly.
Then
So
do
we're somewhere in between, and you probably are too. Like
Mhm.
you got a
that.
decent.
You've got some in there
supply.
though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
Using
you
21, mainly 22s now.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah.
You would
So
probably know.
So this didn't offend me. Canis didn't offend. It was.
Okay.
Not, I wouldn't call it amazing glass of wine,
Mhm.
but I just drank the whole thing, and she said I poured way too much. So
Yeah.
It's been a long week for you.
That's very true.
It's true.
It has been a long week. All right, so we're going to show you how to open these up. So there's a couple different wine openers. There's the
Let's move.
standard.
This is actually
call.
really interesting because most people, I don't know, you should get kind of like hold it up kind of
Isn't
close.
it?
All right, so there is this type of
See.
wine opener that has the two spears that go down on either side of the cork. And you can use this for any type of corked wine, but you definitely want to use this for your older wines because the corks will disintegrate a little bit. If you have ever tried to open up an older bottle of wine and the cork falls apart and you have to strain it, decant it, and I've done that a lot, there's no shame in that. It's just because, again, the cork got really bad. Anybody ever had a corked wine?
Oh yes, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yes,
It is.
talk about the corked wine.
Right.
Because that's
A
actually
very
kinda
pleasant
interesting.
experience.
How do you know it's corked?
Really, you know it's corked because it should actually then taste a little musty, mildewy, and even moldy because that's what's happened. The cork has gotten mold in it somehow, and then it has tainted your wine. And fun
Ew.
fact- and that is actually that's why.
I mean, it's a living, breathing.
Yep.
Yeah, when you taste wine at a restaurant, when they open it up and then they pour it and taste it, that's really all you're able to find out from a very first sip is if it was corked or not.
That was a good sound.
That's why they have you taste it, not whether you.
Yeah,
Not
not whether or not you
necessarily
like it.
like-
I mean, at that point you bought it. It's more like if you're able to see that it was corked. That's it. Wow.
Actually, I think that's interesting because most people
You can
probably
see all
don't
that
realize
sediment
that.
at
There's
the
a
top.
ton of sediment.
wow.
Woo!
Give me that
Oh yeah.
napkin.
Most people think they give you that to see if you like it, but
Yep.
when they have, just that little bit or classy joint.
Whoa.
Oh, you gotta show that. I don't know.
I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this wine has a ton of sediment. There at the top looks
It's
like
alcohol,
I'm
whatever.
bleeding. It's all good. Yeah.
This could be good stage blood.
Ooh. Yeah.
So
next time we
if
do
your
sweeney
old
Todd.
wine is
Dry.
bad, then you save it for stage blood in your next theater production.
There you go.
Would never come out.
My goodness. So, we were fortunate enough to have a bottle of this just a month or so ago. Not, of course, this exact one. But yes, this winery, 2010, Andrew Will Merlot. And it held up really well. And so we're hoping that this one will really hold up against these other older wines. So we're going to give that a go. All right.
Well,
Fantastic. That means we have to
No,
finish
I'm
one of
not
these
sure.
glasses.
Well, I've
There,
accomplished
all right,
that
go
task
Tim.
already.
Go
I'm
Tim.
going in, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
was
gonna
hoping
find
we
it.
were all gonna
We'll give
go
you a
and
nice.
dump
I
it
wish I
in.
could get closer. We'll do an
Well, you could dump
ASMR.
one into the
Yeah,
other.
we could. Here's a dump glass. Everybody dump in there if you want to. It's all
Did a little
totally fine.
ASMR right there.
And that's a good thing, right?
Andrew Will.
Can you dump wine? I mean, this is
I
really
just-
good wine.
You can dump wine. I try not to ever do it. I say that and I don't do it
yeah,
myself.
You should.
I've done it at one winery. I won't say the winery, but I really didn't enjoy any of the wine. And that was the only time I've dumped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I've dumped a white that I none of you liked either. At a winery that we love,
That
but
we
it
all
was
didn't really
no
love
great.
to.
Like,
There you go.
I drank that whole
you
thing.
drank that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I did not.
Out of respect.
I
That's interesting.
bad.
Yeah, the Camus. I wonder if that'll be any good here in another.
Yeah, we might have to. I'm gonna dump this.
Sit back to that.
This is the Woodward. The Woodward.
This one I kind of felt like after a while it almost felt like a hard liquor, almost like you
Yeah.
just shoot it,
Yeah,
like it was that harsh.
Yes, that's
Well,
actually a great descriptor. of it.
thing with the Camus too,
Ooh,
though, is
this
that
has a.
I can
good
tell it's
nose
a
on it.
California wine, and I don't
Mhm.
love that.
Also, very true.
And so I'm not sure that an old California wine is going to float my boat here.
This one has a much better nose on it.
Yes, it has a much better nose. It's very light.
So yeah, we haven't had Andrew Will, I think, on this podcast before. It is one of my favorite wineries that we don't drink very much. It's in Vashon. Andrew Will just does great wines. It's a little bit more high end and hard to find, so that's why we don't have a whole lot of it. But every time I get a chance, I'm always reminded. I just love their wines.
Yeah.
They do a shampoo vineyard. That is excellent.
Did you say
Did you
shampoo?
what?
Yes,
That's what I
shampoo.
thought.
Shampoo's like French.
Shampoo.
Shampoo.
I just want us to make
So
sure
that's a
we don't
Meritage.
try this.
Yeah, someone's drinking that for sure.
That's a straw.
Tim.
You get a straw with that one.
So we'll see. This one may not be great either. Because
No,
again,
it
after
was-
we,
No, yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, it's the best of the three, I would say.
yeah.
Really
I don't
is.
think I can
Fascinating.
smell any of
So-
I mean,
So again, yeah, if you get a wine that you're super excited about, I would say try and lay that one down, and then instead buy some Daily Cookies, right? Like, which is weird, but yeah, okay. Next birthday we're gonna celebrate is in April, and then we should March. And so then we should buy a bottle of wine now and lay it down, so that 3-4 months from now it's no longer got bottle shock and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. And in the meantime, we just had Gilles Costco wine or Lydian.
Yep.
whatever.
Lydian or. But at the end of the day, drinking now I've drank way more old wines. Like in the past couple of years,
Sure.
way more just library wines with wineries we're members of, which has been fun. But I think, and you and I have talked about this. If you like the wine, drink it. Like I mean, like.
Yeah.
Dude,
Don't
don't
wait.
wait.
What
Like
are you waiting for?
you like it right now because you tasted it right now.
Yeah.
You probably went to a winery, you tasted it, said,
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a good
Drink
I'm
it.
gonna buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to drink it, drink the darn thing.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
like
and because most
Yeah.
people, even our little room here is not, perfect
Nope,
conditions.
exactly.
It's great for storing wine for
Yeah.
a shorter term, but we're not gonna. We do have a couple bottles we have laying down there that we hope make it 10 years.
Yeah, we hope that's the outside of what we would store would be 10 years. At 10 years, even our little system here, wine will break down.
Well, we
Won't
have
last.
one that we got when I turned 50, and we were gonna try and keep it for 20 years. And I figured by the time I'm 70, I might be
You might not
more.
even care about
It
yourself.
doesn't really matter.
You're like, it's great.
I'll be like, best one ever had.
But it's definitely changed my opinion. Like there's bottles of wine I've had, I'm like, oh I wanna save it. I'm like, no, open it. Like
Mhm.
the other day you called me like, what? I'm like, dude, open it. It's to the point where it needs to be drank. Like
Yeah.
I want that to taste good when I
Yeah.
drink
Well, that's
Yeah.
true too, because you
it.
don't want to.
It was like I think 3 years. I don't know. Maybe it was 2017 or something. And I was like,
2017 right now is peak drinking.
yeah,
for
I'm like,
just about
open it.
anything.
I don't care. It's a
Yeah.
Wednesday. Open it. It's a
Yeah.
great Wednesday.
Make it a great Wednesday.
Yeah, the Andrew Will's interesting. I think part of it is that it's a Merlot. It's different.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is a California Cab, which I don't typically love. I mean, this is good, but it's a red blend.
That's interesting. Is there a certain vintage that's better for? Where
Yeah.
we mind meld over here
Yes.
on this.
With
side.
Nebbiolos, Pinot Noirs, and
So what was the first one you said?
Nebbiolo.
Nebbiolo.
Just talk about wines that people actually know.
Nebbiolo?
Now
Now it
Nebbiolo.
just makes me sound a
It
little.
feels like something
So-
inside. That's like a Star Trek thing,
I
right?
think you're right. I think it's a Star Trek wine. Bill made up.
Anyway.
I thought that was the gal's
So
name.
let me tell you about
I'm
Pinot
sorry.
Noirs and Cabernet
Is it-
Sauvignon.
is
Oh,
it-
you know, these are-
Yeah,
Like-
let's stick with those that are like actual
those,
that our
those typically age
viewers would
So
Not
Pinot
that-
Noir.
not
I'm
that-
gonna drink my Andrew Will.
Pinots,
I-
really?
I know. I thought
That's
of
what
it.
I always
Sure.
view Pinots as so light. And
Yes, because if you get the right balance of the not high alcohol and not high sugar with
Uh-huh.
those, then they can age really well.
Man, all
So-
I
and, it's a
Huh.
French wine as well, and French really know how to. Yeah, there's all
Yeah.
kinds of like cool chemistry things
So
about.
Pinots, Cabs, and then Klingon wine.
Yes.
So okay. Well, that's good to know because if you do buy a library, I mean, we bought a Merlot library and it was okay,
Yeah,
but it wasn't great.
I wouldn't do a Merlot much
This
more
is
than
just
10
10.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Funny,
one's 14.
Yeah.
You're looking at
This is a 2010.
The one I like
I know,
best
it's
out of
14
the
years
three.
old.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah, that's alright.
math.
Yeah.
Why did it
But
just
these
change to like?
Ooh.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
Film
Very cool.
noir.
Wow, yes.
I don't know what happened, you guys, but
But if you can see
Entered,
us,
like,
we
Star
look really
Trek
cool
zone,
now.
like,
So we'll
It's
see
because
if
it's
that
a
continues.
old wine podcast.
Yeah, it's old
Here's
hey,
a look vintage.
Hey,
Yeah,
see?
vintage.
hello, my
Here's a
baby.
vintage.
Hello, my ragtime gal.
That was.
I need
was
a,
pretty
I need
good.
a coin to flip. Yeah, see?
Hey, kid, what you
I
doing?
I don't even know what to say about
Could I have
that.
some more, please?
That was actually
Forget
really
about
good.
Thank you very much.
It's like he's a theater dude.
All right.
Do you see that he's trying to end the podcast?
I know, we just
Yeah,
keep
he
going.
literally just.
You know what?
Hold
Hold on.
on.
We have one more topic.
Well,
I think this is a really important topic.
Okay.
So, on the guiltometer, where do we put these?
Ooh.
I
Oh,
mean,
it's gonna
we
make a board. Shoot.
Okay, well, I will start off by saying these were not purchased by us.
These were kind gifts.
As
with
an
this
experiment,
podcast in
knowing,
mind,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, that they, so.
So let's say you did buy them. You purchased it. You've laid it down.
Boy, that's the
Where
challenge.
does it land on that guiltometer? Is it
Because
high, low?
If you're buying
Enjoy it
something
with
to lay
friends.
down for 10 or 15 years,
Lowish.
you spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the problem.
And you've invested all this time in it.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so as you're finally bringing it out, you're like,
Right?
So high guiltometer?
Oh.
Like you're not going to
No.
open it up when your spouse is away?
What? Oh,
No.
100%.
No, I wouldn't, just because you
No.
want him to experience, see, like, what do you
Yeah.
think about it? Like,
Yeah.
because it's not like, hey, let's just grab another one of these and have it tomorrow.
Exactly.
Like, so in that respect, yeah, I wouldn't just drink it.
it would be
Oh
for
my
a-
gosh.
a-
So there's parameters. Like
it would be
if-
like
Yeah, I
a special
think there are
occasion.
Yeah.
Like, again,
Yeah.
a birthday, an anniversary, whatever.
But I think knowing what we know now, it's
I'm just-
like it's almost like you need two guiltometers. Guiltometer with like spouse, like what we were talking about last time when your spouse is away. But then, like, I think
That was-
expectations might be, well, I don't expect
That's
a
a
lot from this
guilt.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
but these were. I mean,
maybe
I
we
know
need
where
another
these
meter,
came from, and
expectometer.
these were really well
Really
kept.
well kept.
Mhm.
So it's like
Yeah.
when you think about that, there was a lot of care that went
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
these, and then so that would be really guilty for me.
Well,
because I'd be
that's
like,
my thing. I don't want to act like, oh, they're bad. They're
No,
not
no,
bad.
no.
They're
no,
just.
but
They're kind
but
of
you
great.
because of that,
yeah,
because
you're
I
like,
feel bad
We've been
because I'm like,
babying these
right?
for 10 years,
Yeah.
and then you're like,
But
you
I
want them to be
also-
amazing.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know where it
I'm
lands.
really
Yeah.
distracted by this color thing.
The
It's
cool.
like super distracting to me because I want to know how that happened and why, and like it's
It's
very.
because at 10:30 my
Famous.
phone goes to nighttime mode.
It also
But
could
why
be
would the color
that
change?
Bill
It's
needs a
not
new
bad.
phone.
right?
Well, hey.
now we're off the
You know how,
rails.
like,
Now we're getting
I
off the
know-
rails.
no, wait, you know how,
wants to
like-
give me a new birthday
You
present.
know how YouTubers like they could do the hashtag like or no the ... buy me a coffee / in their name.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like the buy Bill an iPhone
You
/
just put
in
like
his
Bill's
name.
Venmo on the back of the car.
Ooh.
No, because I will never get that money. I'm the one. It goes into his Venmo account. It's just he thinks it's fake money.
It is.
It's just like fake
It's
money.
not real. It's like Monopoly.
Yeah. So
Goes
don't
from
ever pay
one
Bill.
person to another.
All right.
There you go.
Right. Okay,
Perfect.
wait. There was something else.
I think somebody needs to drink that before we turn it off.
Oh.
No.
Tim will do it.
Tim's got
I
it.
actually
It's
wait,
a
what is-
marathon.
I
What
was
is
that
the-
close, but it was already bad.
You're gonna. Oh, I thought you were really gonna drink it down.
Yep, still.
and
Actually, I think when you take a bigger sip, it's better.
on that note, thanks all for watching.
Bye, guys.